Hello, and welcome to Simply Explained English. I'm Amber, and I'll be your host for today's podcast in Lisa's place.
And I'm Eric.
And together, we're here to make learning English simple and fun.
Whether you're a beginner or looking to brush up on your language skills, you're in the right place.
In each episode, we'll break down English words and phrases into easy-to-understand explanations.
In our podcast, we use everything from everyday vocabulary to common idioms.
So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the fascinating world of English together. Okay, Eric, please tell us the words today.
Okay, Amber. The first word today is to wonder. Then we will continue with to judge. And enormous. Then calm down. And the final one is to hit the books.
Okay, let's continue with our first word.
Our first word is to wonder.
To wonder.
To wonder. To wonder means to have a question or to think about something with curiosity.
So when you're curious or thinking about something but don't know the answer.
Exactly. For example, if you see a beautiful bird flying in the sky, you might wonder what type of bird it is or where it's going.
I see. Can you provide an example dialogue using the word to wonder?
Did you ever wonder why the sky is blue, Tom?
Yeah, I did. I think it has something to do with the way sunlight interacts with the Earth's atmosphere.
That's really interesting. I always wonder about things like that.
Me too. It's fun to find out new things.
That was a nice chat between Anna and Tom. They were both curious about why the sky was blue.
Yeah, I liked it too. Wondering is a great way to start learning something new. Amber, do you ever wonder about things like Anna?
Yes, I do. Sometimes I wonder how different foods taste in other countries. What about you, Eric?
I often wonder about space and all the stars in the sky. The universe is so big and mysterious.
That's fascinating. Wondering about things is good because it means you're thinking and asking questions.
Absolutely. Wondering is the first step to learning more about the world. Conversations like the one between Anna and Tom can make people want to find out the answer.
I agree. When you wonder about something, you can always research it to find out more. Just like Tom mentioned about the sky being blue.
That's right. Well, I think we've had a good talk about to wonder. Now let's move on to the next word. The next word is to judge.
To judge.
To judge.
Oh, that's an important one. When we judge, it means we have an opinion or make a decision about something or someone.
Yes, sometimes judging can happen too quickly without knowing all the details. It's better to understand fully first.
Great point, Eric. Let's do an example dialogue to show to judge in a situation.
Sounds good. Let's start.
Mike, did you hear about the new student in our class?
Yes, I did. Some people are judging her because she's quiet and doesn't talk much.
That's not fair. We shouldn't judge her without getting to know her. Maybe she's just shy.
You're right, Sarah. It's better to talk to her and learn more about her before judging about her.
That conversation between Sarah and Mike shows how some people might judge too quickly.
Yes, it's a good reminder to be more understanding and not judge someone without knowing their story.
Exactly. Eric, was there someone who judged you too quickly?
Yes. Once someone thought I was not good at sports because I'm quiet. But they were surprised when we played soccer. I played very well. It was not what they expected.
That's a great example of why we shouldn't judge others. Over time, I've learned that everyone has something special about them.
True, Amber. We can change our minds about someone after we get to know them.
And sometimes we should remember not to judge things too quickly, like a new food or a new place.
Absolutely. When we keep an open mind, we can better understand and value the differences around us.
Well said, Eric. It's better to learn more and judge less in life.
I agree. It's been a good discussion about to judge. Now let's move on to the next word. The next word is enormous.
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 Enormous is a fun word. It means something very big, huge, and much larger than usual.
That's right, Amber. When something is enormous, it's so big that it can be surprising or impressive.
Let's give an example of dialogue to help our listeners understand. I'll be Lucy and you can be Mark.
Sounds good to me.
Mark, have you seen the new building in downtown?
Yes, I have. It's enormous. I couldn't believe how tall it was.
Me too. I read it has over 50 floors. Can you imagine that?
It's incredible. Such an enormous building must have a great view from the top, Lucy.
That was an interesting conversation about the new building. Lucy and Mark both think the building is enormous.
Yes, they were impressed by the size of the building. Amber, have you ever seen something enormous?
Yes, I have. Once, I saw an enormous elephant at a wildlife park. It was the biggest animal I've ever seen. How about you, Eric?
For me, I saw an enormous mountain while I was on a trip. When I stood at the base and looked up, it felt like I touched the sky.
Wow, both the elephant and the mountain sound amazing. Enormous things can really make us feel small, can't they?
They sure can. It's a powerful word to describe everything that is much bigger than what we see.
That's true. And what about things that aren't physical objects? Can they be enormous too?
Yes. For example, you could say that someone has an enormous appetite. It means he eats a lot. Or the enormous love they have for their families.
That's a good point. It shows that enormous can be used to describe more than just physical size.
Exactly. It's a useful word for emphasizing something on a large scale.
I agree. It's also a fun word to say, isn't it? It has a big, powerful sound that matches its meaning. Enormous. Yes, it sounds very powerful.
You're right. It's a great word to use when you want to make a strong impression or describe something really big.
I agree. Okay, it's been a great conversation, Eric. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is to calm down.
To calm down.
To calm down.
To calm down is a very useful phrase. It means to become less upset, less excited, or less angry. It's like becoming peaceful again after being upset.
Exactly, Amber. When someone is very angry or upset, they may need to take a moment to calm down before they can think clearly.
Let's do a sample dialogue to show our listeners how to calm down can be used.
All right, let's go for it.
Mia, I can't find my phone anywhere. I think I lost it.
Joe, let's try to calm down first. Maybe you just forgot where you put it.
You're right. I'm really upset right now. I'll take a deep breath and try to remember where I last saw it.
That's a good idea. After you calm down, let's look for it together.
That was a great example. It shows how taking a moment to calm down can really help when you're feeling upset.
Yes, Mia told Joe that if she calmed down, it would be easier to find a solution. Amber, have you ever been in a situation where you needed to calm down?
Oh, yes. Sometimes when I'm really worried about something, like a big exam, I need to calm down and focus.
That's a good point. We can think more clearly and make better choices when we calm down. What are some good ways to calm down when you're feeling stressed, Amber?
Well, taking deep breaths can be really helpful. Also, doing something relaxing like listening to music or taking a walk can make you feel calmer.
Those are great ideas. I find that talking to a friend or family member can also help me calm down when I'm feeling upset.
That's so true. Talking about your problems with someone can help you feel a lot better and happier.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that everyone feels stressed or upset sometimes, and it's okay to take a moment to calm down.
I couldn't agree more. Learning how to calm down is an important skill that can help us in many situations in our lives.
Well said, Amber. I hope our listeners will remember to take a deep breath and calm down when they're feeling anxious or upset.
Me too, Eric. It's a simple but powerful thing we can all do for ourselves. And on that note, I think it's time for us to move on to the next word.
Sounds good. Let's move on to the last word. The last word is to hit the books.
To hit the books.
To hit the books.
To hit the books is an informal phrase that means to study hard, especially for an exam or test.
That's right. It's like when you sit down with your textbooks, notebooks, and study materials to prepare for an exam or learn something new.
So it's about studying hard.
Exactly. When you decide to understand a subject better, you hit the books. It's a way to improve your knowledge and skills.
Okay, let's have a sample dialogue using the phrase hit the books so that our listeners can better understand it.
Hey, Sophie. What are you doing here on a Saturday?
I have a big history exam on Monday, so I need to hit the books this weekend.
Oh, I understand. Good luck with your studies. I should probably hit the books too.
That's a great example, Eric. It shows how the phrase is used in a casual conversation between friends.
Definitely. I like how it emphasizes the importance of studying hard and focusing on learning. Do you think it's important, Amber?
Absolutely. If you want to do well in school or learn new things, you should hit the books. It takes time and effort, but it's worth it.
I agree. It's not always easy to sit down and study, but it's necessary for success. What are some good ways to motivate yourself to hit the books?
Well, to set goals for yourself can be really helpful. For example, you could say, I'll study for 1 hour and then I'll reward myself with a snack or a break.
That's a great idea. A lot of people find it easier to study when they break it up into parts. Giving yourself rewards can help you stay motivated.
Another good tip is to find a quiet, comfortable place to study, like the library or a silent corner at home.
That's so true. It's harder to concentrate when there is a lot of noise or other things around you. A good study place can make a big difference.
It really can. Well, I think we've covered the phrase hit the books quite well. It's useful for our listeners to learn.
Definitely. I hope our listeners will remember to hit the books when they need to study or learn something new.
Agreed. Studying hard is an important part of education and personal growth. And with that, I think it's time to wrap up this podcast. Well, that wraps up today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you enjoyed learning about some new words and phrases with us.
Remember, if you have any questions or suggestions for future episodes, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Stay tuned for more episodes, where we'll continue to explore the English language together.
Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep practicing your English.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.